Ryan had always been the life of the party, the kind of guy who thrived on the laughter of his friends and the thrill of adventure. With a cheeky grin plastered across his face, he loved nothing more than to push boundaries and test the limits of what was acceptable, often to the amusement or dismay of those around him. It was this playful spirit that had led him to the grand adventure of a vacation across Europe, where he found himself standing before the imposing figure of a royal guard. This guard, stoic and unwavering, stood like a statue, seemingly immune to the antics of tourists who flocked to snap pictures and share their experiences. Ryan, in his infinite wisdom, decided that this was the perfect opportunity to put the guard's legendary composure to the test. Before we dive into the story, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Your subscription means the world to us and is the only way to ensure these incredible stories reach a broader audience. Your support helps us continue bringing you tales of intrigue, adventure, and unforgettable moments. So please hit that subscribe button now. With a twinkle in his eye and mischief in his heart, Ryan approached the guard, a plan forming in his mind that was as audacious as it was reckless. He had heard tales of how these guards never flinched, no matter how much they were provoked. In his youthful exuberance, he believed he could disprove the myth, if only for a moment. Gathering his courage, he nudged the guard's shoulder playfully, fully expecting the guard to remain unmoved, a mere backdrop to Ryan's antics. The moment was electric. Time seemed to stand still as Ryan's laughter echoed in the air, only to be abruptly halted by the guard's unexpected reaction. Instead of the anticipated scowl or reprimand, the guard stumbled slightly, then turned to face Ryan. Their eyes locked in a moment that felt simultaneously fleeting and suspended, a connection that carried an undercurrent of tension and surprise. Ryan's heart raced, his bravado fading as he found himself caught in the gravity of the guard's intense gaze. For a second, the bustling crowd melted away, leaving just the two of them in that charged moment. Ryan could sense the shift in atmosphere, a ripple of disbelief coursing through the onlookers as they processed what was unfolding. This was not the reaction anyone expected, least of all Ryan. The laughter that had filled the air moments before faded into a heavy silence, as if the world had collectively held its breath, waiting for the next move. What happened next shocked everyone watching. Instead of reprimanding Ryan, the guard stepped back and saluted him. The action was unexpected, a gesture of respect that turned the playful provocation into something far more profound. Ryan stood frozen, his mind racing to comprehend the significance of the moment. Confusion swirled within him, mingling with a dawning realization that this encounter was about more than just his cheeky behavior. As Ryan stood there, a mixture of surprise and embarrassment washing over him, he felt a familiar presence beside him. It was his grandfather, a veteran who had served with honor and pride. The old soldier had always been a source of inspiration for Ryan, embodying the principles of duty, respect, and sacrifice. As Ryan turned to look at him, he noticed the glimmer of recognition in his grandfather's eyes, and it struck him then just how pivotal this moment truly was. The guard, a former soldier himself, had recognized the insignia on Ryan's grandfather's jacket. It was a symbol of service and sacrifice, a connection that transcended the playful banter. In choosing to salute Ryan, the guard was honoring not just him, but the legacy of his grandfather, a man who had dedicated his life to serving his country. The realization washed over Ryan like a wave, an overwhelming sense of respect and gratitude flooding his heart. Caught in the weight of the moment, Ryan's initial bravado crumbled away, replaced by a profound understanding of the traditions that bound them all together. He glanced at his grandfather, who stood proudly beside him, and felt a rush of emotions: pride, respect, and a deep appreciation for the sacrifices made by those who had served. With a newfound sense of humility, Ryan turned back to the guard. "I'm sorry," he said, the words tumbling out with sincerity. "Thank you for your service." The guard's expression softened, and a hint of a smile broke through his stoic facade. In that powerful exchange, a bridge was built between generations, a moment where youth met experience, and laughter transformed into reverence. The crowd, which had been holding its breath, erupted into applause, the roar of appreciation echoing through the square. Ryan felt a rush of warmth flood over him, not just from the approval of the onlookers, but from the realization that he had participated in something much larger than himself. As he walked away from the scene, hand in hand with his grandfather, Ryan couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter had changed him in ways he couldn't yet articulate. He had come to the city seeking adventure and amusement, but what he found instead was a lesson in respect, duty, and the bonds that connect us all. The memory of the guard salute would linger with him, a poignant reminder of the importance of honor and the unexpected ways in which life can teach us to grow. With every step away from the guard, Ryan felt the weight of the moment settle within him. The laughter of his friends faded into the background, replaced by the quiet reflection of what had just transpired. He glanced back one last time, catching the guard's eye once more. In that brief exchange, a silent understanding passed between them, a recognition of the shared values that transcended their differences. The guard returned to his post, a silent sentinel once again, embodying the essence of duty and commitment that Ryan now held in higher regard than ever before. The encounter would soon be captured on video, spreading rapidly through social media and news outlets alike. The clip showcased not just a cheeky tourist and a stoic guard, but a moment that resonated deeply with viewers around the world. It served as a reminder of the respect due to those in service and the transformative power of humility. Ryan's playful challenge had turned into a life lesson, one that would echo in his heart long after the laughter had faded. In the days that followed, as the video went viral, Ryan found himself reflecting on the impact of that single moment. He had set out to provoke, to entertain, and instead had stumbled upon a profound truth about respect and honor. The response to the video was overwhelming, with countless comments praising the guard for his dignity and professionalism. Many shared stories of their own encounters with service members, each narrative adding to the collective appreciation for those who dedicate their lives to protecting and serving others. The story continued to unfold, weaving its way into conversations about tradition, family, and the values we hold dear. Ryan began to see the world through a different lens, one that appreciated the depth of character found in those who serve. His grandfather's stories took on new meaning, each tale enriched by the realization that the sacrifices of the past had paved the way for the freedoms enjoyed today. The connection forged that day in the square became a touchstone for Ryan, a reminder that moments of humility can arise in the most unexpected places, transforming our understanding of respect and duty forever. As Ryan's story spread, it ignited a wave of conversations across social media platforms. Comments poured in from people sharing their own experiences with military personnel, recounting tales of bravery, sacrifice, and the quiet dignity that often goes unnoticed in everyday life. The video became a symbol, a catalyst for a broader dialogue about respect for those in uniform, and Ryan found himself at the center of it all. He was both flattered and bewildered by the attention. Initially, the playful intent behind his nudge had been just that, a moment of lighthearted mischief. Yet, the depth of the meaning that had unfolded in the subsequent exchange revealed a complexity he hadn't anticipated. As he scrolled through the comments, he noticed a recurring theme. Many people expressed a desire to honor veterans and active service members in tangible ways. This sparked an idea in Ryan's mind. Why not take this opportunity to continue the conversation beyond the video? Inspired by the stories he read, he decided to reach out to local veterans organizations in his hometown. He wanted to create a platform where people could share their stories of service and sacrifice, something that could foster understanding and appreciation for the military community. With a new sense of purpose, Ryan rallied his friends, sharing his vision with them. "Let's do something meaningful," he urged, his excitement palpable. "We can organize a community event, maybe a fundraiser or a gathering where veterans can share their experiences. It's time we give back and show our respect in a real way." His friends, initially taken aback by the depth of his transformation, quickly rallied around him. They brainstormed ideas, eager to contribute to a cause that resonated with them all. As the weeks passed, Ryan became increasingly involved with the planning. He contacted veteran organizations, securing partnerships and seeking input on how best to honor those who had served. He learned about the struggles many veterans faced, from reintegrating into civilian life to dealing with the psychological aftermath of their service. The stories were heart-wrenching yet inspiring, filled with resilience and the strength of the human spirit. Each narrative deepened Ryan's appreciation for the sacrifices made in the name of freedom. The day of the event arrived, and the air buzzed with anticipation. Ryan stood at the entrance of the community center, a smile plastered on his face, though he felt a flutter of nerves in his stomach. The decorations were a blend of red, white, and blue, a visual tribute to the flag that represented so much. Tables adorned with photos of veterans, medals, and memorabilia lined the walls, each telling a story of service and dedication. As the doors opened, families began to filter in, their faces reflecting a mixture of curiosity and respect. Veterans, both young and old, mingled with community members, sharing stories and laughter. Ryan watched as his grandfather, now a proud figure amidst the gathering, engaged with other veterans, exchanging anecdotes that spanned decades of service. The sight filled Ryan with warmth. He could see the pride in his grandfather's eyes, a testament to the enduring spirit of camaraderie among those who had served. One by one, veterans took to the stage to share their stories. The room fell into a hushed reverence as they spoke of their experiences, the challenges they faced, and the bonds they forged during their service. Each tale was a reminder of the weight of their sacrifices and the importance of recognizing their contributions. Ryan listened intently, absorbing the lessons woven into every narrative. He felt a stirring within him, a call to action to ensure that these stories were heard not just today, but continued to resonate in the years to come. As the event unfolded, Ryan felt a sense of connection blossoming among everyone present. Strangers became friends, united by a shared appreciation for the sacrifices made by those in uniform. Laughter mingled with tears as stories of bravery and loss intertwined, creating a rich tapestry of experiences that celebrated resilience and honor. By the end of the day, Ryan's heart swelled with pride, not just for the event itself, but for the community that had come together to support a cause greater than themselves. At the conclusion of the event, Ryan stepped up to the microphone, his voice steady yet filled with emotion. "Thank you all for being here today," he began, looking out at the crowd. "What started as a playful challenge turned into something far more significant than I could have ever imagined. We have the privilege of learning from these incredible individuals, and it's our responsibility to honor their stories and sacrifices. Let's continue to support our veterans and ensure their voices are heard." Applause erupted, ringing in the air like a powerful affirmation of the sentiments shared. Ryan felt a renewed sense of purpose, a commitment to carry forward the lessons learned from that fateful day in front of the Royal Guard. He realized that while his playful nudge had sparked the initial moment, it was the heartfelt stories of veterans that would sustain the conversation long after the applause faded. As the crowd began to disperse, Ryan found himself surrounded by veterans and community members eager to share their thoughts. He listened intently, his heart open to their experiences, eager to learn more. Each conversation deepened his understanding, reinforcing the importance of connection and respect. He exchanged contact information with several veterans, determined to keep the dialogue alive and explore further opportunities to support them. In the following weeks, Ryan and his friends continued to organize events, fostering a sense of community that bridged the gap between civilians and those who had served. They initiated mentorship programs, workshops, and storytelling sessions, creating spaces where veterans could share their experiences with younger generations. The ripple effect of that single moment in front of the Guard grew, expanding into a movement that prioritized respect and understanding. Ryan's life transformed in ways he could never have predicted. He found himself drawn into the world of advocacy, seeking to amplify the voices of veterans and their families. His initial adventures morphed into a deeper exploration of duty, service, and the legacy of sacrifice. The Guard salute became a symbol of the respect he would carry with him always, a reminder that even the most playful moments can lead to profound realizations. As time passed, Ryan's relationship with his grandfather deepened. They would often sit together, sharing stories and laughter over cups of tea. His grandfather became an invaluable resource, imparting wisdom and insights that enriched Ryan's understanding of duty and honor. Those moments became sacred, a testament to the bond forged through shared experiences and respect. One evening, as they reminisced about the community events, Ryan turned to his grandfather. "You know, I never truly understood the weight of your service until that day with the Guard. It changed everything for me." His grandfather smiled knowingly, pride sparkling in his eyes. "It's not always about the grand gestures, Ryan. Sometimes it's the small moments that leave the biggest impact. Remember to carry that respect with you always." In that moment, Ryan realized that the journey he had embarked upon was not just about honoring veterans. It was about understanding the values that bind humanity together. As he looked back on the playful nudge that had set everything into motion, he felt a profound sense of gratitude for the unexpected lessons life had taught him. It was a reminder that respect, humility, and connection have the power to transform not just individual lives, but entire communities. And so, Ryan continued to grow, embracing the lessons learned with every step. With a heart full of gratitude and a newfound sense of purpose, he moved forward, committed to honoring the legacy of those who served, ensuring that their stories were never forgotten. If this story is touching your heart, make sure to comment from where you are hearing this amazing story. The journey of understanding and respect was only beginning, and Ryan was eager to see where it would lead him next. As he looked back on the playful nudge that had set everything into motion, he felt a profound sense of gratitude for the unexpected lessons life had taught him. It was a reminder that respect, humility, and connection have the power to transform not just individual lives, but entire communities. Ryan continued to grow, embracing the lessons learned with every step. With a heart full of gratitude and a newfound sense of purpose, he moved forward, committed to honoring the legacy of those who served, ensuring that their stories were never forgotten. His days became a blend of planning events, engaging with veterans, and sharing the stories that had inspired him so deeply. The community gatherings flourished, each event drawing in more people eager to learn and connect. Ryan found himself not only facilitating discussions, but also participating in them, listening intently to those who shared their experiences. Each story was a thread woven into the fabric of the community, strengthening the bonds between generations. His grandfather often joined him, sharing his own tales from the past, and together they became a beacon of hope and inspiration for others. One afternoon, as they sat on a park bench after a successful event, Ryan turned to his grandfather, a sense of realization washing over him. "I never thought that a moment of mischief would lead to this. It's incredible how one action can ripple out and change lives." His grandfather nodded, a twinkle of pride in his eyes. Life has a way of teaching us, whether we're ready or not. Sometimes, it's the unexpected moments that remind us of our purpose. Encouraged by the connections he had fostered, Ryan decided to take his advocacy a step further. Inspired by the stories he had heard and the lives he had touched, he envisioned a project that would encapsulate the essence of those narratives. A documentary that would honor veterans and their journeys. It would be a way to preserve their stories for future generations, ensuring that their sacrifices and triumphs were not just fleeting moments, but lasting legacies. With enthusiasm, he began gathering footage from previous events, interviewing veterans, and capturing their testimonies on film. Ryan was determined to create something meaningful, a visual tapestry that would honor their stories and promote understanding within the community. This endeavor pulled him deeper into the world of storytelling, and he found joy in the process of working with each veteran, helping them share their truth. As the documentary took shape, Ryan discovered a newfound appreciation for the power of storytelling. Each interview revealed layers of emotion, resilience, and strength that had shaped the lives of those who had served. He learned to navigate the delicate balance of capturing their experiences while honoring their vulnerability, and in doing so, he forged even deeper connections with the veterans. The premiere of the documentary approached, and excitement buzzed in the air. Ryan invited not only the veterans featured in the film, but also the community members who had supported his journey. The venue was filled with a sense of anticipation, a collective understanding that this was more than just a film. It was a celebration of the sacrifices made and the bonds formed. As the lights dimmed and the film began to play, Ryan felt a mixture of nerves and exhilaration. He watched as the stories unfolded on screen, each narrative resonating with the audience. Laughter, tears, and moments of reflection filled the room, connecting everyone through the shared experience of honor and respect. When the credits began to roll, a palpable silence filled the air before an eruption of applause broke out, echoing off the walls. The veterans in attendance received the loudest cheers, their bravery and service recognized in a tangible W. Ryan felt a swell of pride as he stood at the front, his heart racing at the realization of what he had accomplished. As people began to mingle after the screening, Ryan found himself surrounded by veterans eager to share their thoughts. They spoke of the impact the documentary had on them, how it brought their stories to life in a way they had long wished for. Each conversation deepened his appreciation for their sacrifices, and he felt a renewed commitment to continue this work of honoring their legacy. In the weeks that followed, the documentary garnered attention beyond the community. It was shared widely online, leading to invitations to speak at schools and organizations eager to promote discussions around respect and understanding of veterans. Ryan found himself in classrooms, sharing not just his experiences but also the stories of the veterans he had come to know so well. With every presentation, he felt the weight of responsibility, an obligation to ensure that the lessons learned from the past were not forgotten. The conversation sparked by the film continued to ripple outwards, creating a movement that encouraged empathy and respect for those who served. As Ryan reflected on his journey, he marveled at how far he had come since that fateful day in front of the Royal Guard. No longer was he just a cheeky tourist. He had transformed into a passionate advocate, dedicated to bridging the gap between civilians and the military community. He had found his purpose in honoring the stories that needed to be told, and he was driven by the knowledge that each narrative held the power to inspire change. One evening, as he and his grandfather sat together watching the sunset, Ryan felt a deep sense of fulfillment. "I owe it all to you," he said, looking at the man who had guided him through this journey. "You've shown me the importance of honoring our past and respecting those who serve." His grandfather smiled, placing a hand on Ryan's shoulder. "You've done the work, Ryan. You've taken that moment and turned it into something beautiful. Just remember, it's the connections we make that truly matter." With that wisdom echoing in his heart, Ryan knew that his journey was far from over. The stories of veterans would continue to inspire him, and he was committed to ensuring their legacies lived on. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Ryan felt a renewed sense of purpose, ready to embrace whatever adventures lay ahead, united with those who had given so much for their country. The journey of understanding and respect was just the beginning, and he was eager to see where it would lead him next.